Exactly. If you can please take your seats. I call this meeting to order. This is the Standing Committee on Community Services. I am the Honourable Susan Corkum-Greek, MLA for Lunenburg, and chair of this committee. Today we will discuss organizational matters and hold an agenda setting. Please turn off your phones or put them on silent. And in the case of an emergency, please use the Granville Street exit and walk up to the Grand Parade. I will now ask the committee members. I'm just waiting for, sorry. I will now ask the committee members to please introduce themselves for the record by stating your name and constituency.
I'm Brian McGowan. I'm the MLA for Cole Harbour Dartmouth, and I'm the vice chair of this committee.
Hi, everybody. I'm Damian Stoylov, and I'm the MLA for Bedford South.
Hi, my name is Diane Timmins, and I am MLA for Victoria Lakes, and I do apologize for my voice. I have a bit of laryngitis, so hopefully it'll hold off.
Good morning. My name's Kyle McQuarrie. I'm the MLA for Inverness.
Good morning, everyone. Derek Mumbercat, the MLA for Sydney Member 2.
Ian Rankin, Timberley Prospect.
Good morning. I'm Lena Hamid, Fairview Clayton Park.
Good morning, everyone. Susie Hansen, Halifax Needham.
Thank you all. I would also like to note the presence of Chief Legislative Counsel Gordon Hebb and the Legislative Committee Clerk, Tamer Nusaba. So this is the first meeting of the Community Services Committee in this session. Therefore, the committee must choose how to conduct procedures. The committee guide reference document has been distributed to members, and I will now provide an overview of the committee's mandate. The mandate of the committee states that the Community Services Committee is established for the purpose of considering matters relative to community services, culture, heritage, human rights, municipal affairs, recreation, and sport. Members, legislative staff, caucus researchers, and legislative council office staff attend these meetings. Meetings are televised, live streamed, and open to public attendance. The committee has typically met on the first Tuesday of the month from 10 a.m. until noon in this room, the committee room here at One Government Place. Does the committee wish to continue with this timeline and schedule? Okay, I see agreement. We will continue. The committee, however, does not meet during summer months, July and August, or during House sittings. Does the committee wish to continue with this practice? Agreed. Thank you. Questioning of witnesses is held in 2 rounds. The first round is separated into 20 minutes for each party, and the second round is calculated based on the time remaining in the meeting, often amounting to 7 to 9 minutes per party. The order of questioning is official opposition, third party, and governing party. Does the committee wish to continue this practice?
I'd like to put forward an organizational matter.
Sorry, I will recognize Mr. McGowan. Sorry.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd like to put forth the motion that I move that the Standing Committee on Community Services adopt a question format of 30 minutes for the government caucus, 20 minutes for the official opposition, 10 minutes for the third party. Additional time will then be split evenly, with half going to the government caucus and the other half shared by the 2 opposition caucuses.
MLA Hansen.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I think that this is our only opportunity to really have questions to presenters and community, and I think the fair way to do it would be the way that we've been doing it as such.
Well, I would...
Sorry, I recognize MLA Mumbercat.
Thank you. I disagree with the motion in the sense that I've served in government, I've served in opposition, and I've served in the third party. It's worked very well. members of the current government party were in opposition. I'm sure that they wouldn't support it if they were sitting on this side of the committee. And I think I think all parties bring a level of expertise and a level of research to the questioning. So I just think it's a slippery slope if the government's going to start this process of trying to limit what is a healthy debate, where all parties get equal chance to ask questions. I don't understand why the government would want to do that.
Thank you. I know that Mr. McGowan, and then followed by MLA McGowan.
So the standing committee functions as an incredible part of government accountability, and the reality is that we talk about fairness. What is fair is that each MLA have an opportunity to be heard. I believe that the people of Nova Scotia would suggest that we represent 78 ridings and receive more than 50% of the vote. So giving everybody an opportunity to be heard, I think would be the most prudent thing, is to see that this sort of division of being heard is followed. Again, the work we do as a group is important, and I feel the work priorities and these committees should reflect the government as a whole, and that's what the government looks like.
MLA Rankin.
Thank you, Madam Chair. It seems to me that this motion is not prudent. The word used, I did not see this motion proposed in advance to the committee members, which is the respectful way to conduct matters at committee. I know the member is new. I would also submit that this motion could be out of order, given that there was a striking committee set to look at these committees, and the government house leader had said that the structure of these committees and the operational component of these committees would remain the same. That is the committee where the discussion should take place in terms of the time allotted, and for a committee to unilaterally change the way that the questions are given to different caucuses is unprecedented and never even proposed before, especially at the committee level itself. Obviously, they have a majority, but I would submit that this motion is out of order and disrespectful to bring at the agenda setting meeting.
So,
Sorry, thank you. I believe that MLA Hanson has the floor.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you. And I will just touch on to my colleague's point. I think there are processes in place that can actually address that in a different facet, and bringing it to the table here today is actually very disrespectful. And I say this because, here we are having the opportunity to kind of discuss agenda setting items, and we're going to talk about whether or not we have more time or not allotted based on the percentage of seats in the province. And I think, if we look across the table, you already have a large number of voices across the table to speak for your part of the province. So to say that here today and to change the settings within this confine is absolutely disrespectful and unprecedented.
Thank you. MLA McGowan.
And certainly there was no intention for there to be any disrespect. What this is rooted in is, I believe, fairness. If it would simply be unfair to the MLAs in the room if we were restricted to 1/3 of the time for questioning. It wouldn't provide each person an opportunity to be heard, and there's certainly no disrespect. This is actually a matter of fairness.
MLA Mumbercat.
Yeah, I would reiterate, again, I served in a majority government. I served on this committee. We never went as far as trying to do this because we respected everybody who got elected, regardless of political stripe. We respected the process that was in place that, as my colleague said, was approved prior to the committee's meeting. I just think it's a really bad move by the government. It just shows a lot of ego, to be honest, when I think you would want to be more humble about the fact that you have as many seats as you have in the government. So I would ask that we do get a ruling on my colleague's suggestion that this is actually out of order and it should have been decided at the striking committee.
So So I am advised by our counsel that this motion is not out of order, that the committee does have the responsibility and opportunity to set these particulars. So is there additional discussion on the motion? MLA Rankin.
If this is in order, I wonder what is the extent that the government is allowed to go under the rules of the committee? Like, what if they said that the opposition is not allowed to to have any time for questioning? Or what if they truncated it to 5 minutes? Like, what are the limits that this government can control debate? This isn't the first time that there was a so-called supermajority in this province. They may have many MLAs, but it doesn't go that far back where Stanfield had a larger percentage of MLAs and did not change the time given to each MLA to ask questions or caucus's time. John Savage had a supermajority. He did change the way that the committee was made up. They had that choice at the striking committee. They could have given the third party 1 seat if they wanted to, but they didn't do that. They made choices at the striking committee to keep the committees as they are. Now they're asking for limiting the time of MLAs. So what is my question to the council is, how far can a simple majority of the committee change the rules in terms of the timing that they give caucus members?
That the committee cannot change. Yeah, I agree. The committee can't change the mandate. I mean, they can operate the way they want, although whether, preventing the opposition from, that's a pretty theoretical question. I wouldn't really answer that as, whether you go that far. I mean, that would be, but as long as you're giving some time, I think it's up to the, it's up to the committee. The House can always, if the House doesn't like it, the House can overrule the committee.
Thank you for waiting. I am conferring with those with the legal expertise on either side of me. They are advising that certainly government cannot change the mandate of the committee, but many other aspects, certainly, of the way that the committee conducts itself can be changed. Also advising that this is a question that reasonably might deserve additional consideration than can be provided quickly this morning, but advice at this point this morning is that it is within the purview of the committee to make these changes. MLA Hanson.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just kind of want to go back to the initial point of the motion is about being fair. And I mean, if it was fair, I don't think any one of us on this side would be disagreeing with the motion. So fair for who? I'm just kind of confused. I don't understand the purpose of this motion, when the purpose of this meeting, or the community services, right? The purpose of our committees is for us to listen and to ask questions and to actually get information for all Nova Scotians. How are we to do that when we are limited by the amount of time that we have to ask the questions, and the government side has all of the amount of time to ask the questions? I don't see how that could be fair. So if you could explain to me how that would break down to be fair, I would really, like to know more.
So I see a number of hands, but I think it's appropriate that MLA McGowan be able to respond to this, please.
To give you the thought process, if you look around this table, I think that when we talk about giving MLAs fair time to be heard, it doesn't take advanced math to see that there are 4 representing the 2 caucuses on one side, and there are 4 that represent our caucus on this side. And the fairness is that we're providing each MLA an opportunity to be heard on behalf of their constituents. And so that's where the fairness is rooted. It's certainly not intended to restrict anyone. What it is intended to do is to ensure that each MLA has an opportunity to be heard. And if there's 4 and 4, the math seems to be fair to me.
MLA McQuarrie, please.
Yeah, I can understand that the Liberal caucus time changing from 20 minutes to 10 minutes may inconvenience them. The NDP caucus time is changing from 20 minutes, well, it's not changing at all, 20 minutes to 20 minutes. Is that correct?
Everybody would have 20 minutes. So now.
No, but I mean under the motion is 30, 2010. So the
Sorry,
oppositions.
I'd like to limit
Oh.
discussion across, just so we can properly identify people for anyone following. But yes, it's my understanding that on that 20-minute block, it is effectively no change.
The opposition's time has not changed under its motions.
Thank you. Did MLA Rankin have your, I wasn't sure who, okay, MLA Marquette.
Yeah, I know how this thing works. The committee was told to do this today. That's how direction comes from the center to come down and do this motion. It has nothing to do with fairness. It has nothing to do with, I've been around long enough to see this. Actually, it's unfortunate because you're all new committee members, and this is the first thing that you have to deal with. So what I want to do is that there are a lot of questions around the legality of it. So I'm going to move a motion that we delay the vote of MLA McGowan's motion until we have a full legal assessment of whether he's allowed to do this at this committee or not.
So I'm just going to note that there is a motion on the floor, so we cannot have a motion on top of a motion, but you may wish to defer that to a subsequent moment.
He can move a motion to defer the present motion.
Okay.
It's not debatable. You have to vote on it immediately.
Okay, sorry, I have advice that we can have a vote immediately on the motion to defer, and so I will ask members on the motion to defer MLA McGowan's motion until another time. Those in favor of deferral, there's been a request for a recorded vote. There's no ding-dongs in here, so at least we don't have to listen to bells for an hour. I will just double-check quickly with the clerk what is the preferred, simply to...
So, I'll read out the names. I'll read out the names. They say yay or nay. I heard them, and then that's it.
Okay, so the clerk for those of us new to committees, the clerk will be reading the individual member's name, and you will be asked to reply either in the affirmative of yay or in the negative nay. The motion is to whether to defer MLA McGowan's motion. I defer now to the clerk.
Mr. Brad McGowan,
Nay.
Mr. Damien Stoylov,
Nay.
Ms. Diane Timmons,
Nay.
Mr. Kyle McQuarrie,
Nay.
Honorable Derek Momberkat,
Yes.
Honorable Ian Rankin,
Yes.
Ms. Lena Hammett,
Yes.
Ms. Susie Hansen,
Yes.
Honorable Susan Corcoran-Greek.
Nay. Is there further discussion? Sorry. The motion to defer is defeated. Returning to MLA McGowan's motion, is there further discussion? MLA Hansen.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So, we're having conversations about fairness and equality and equal share and every MLA having their say. I don't know if anybody who is new has watched these matters on Ledge TV amazing show. But if you've actually watched it, everyone has an opportunity to speak. Everyone typically has questions. Everyone shares in that with our time here. And on top of that, then there's another round of questioning that you can actually ask more, right? So I think when we talk about fairness and we say 30, 20, 10, in no way, shape, or form is that fair. 30 is more than 20, and 20 is more than 10. So when we say fairness, I just need you to really think about what you're asking right now and what this is going to look like for Nova Scotians and how we are utilizing or abusing the power that we might have in order for us to push an agenda in a committee that doesn't move a whole lot of things, but give us information. So if we want to change that dynamic and create something that doesn't need to be created, then, I would just caution the side that will be making the decision about what you mean by fair. Because when you say fair and you stand by the 30, 20, 10, the world around us knows that that is not fair. So I just wanted to say that because when we think about discussing these topics coming forward, every single person around the tables has an opportunity to ask questions, and there's more than enough time to ask questions when it comes to these committee meetings. So I know that folks are new, and maybe we're directed and guided to do things that may seem okay, but it's actually very unfair and just not appropriate in this realm right now. So I just wanted to say that and put that as my discussion.
Thank you, MLA Hanson. MLA McQuarrie.
Thank you. It's my understanding that this is not the first protocol for questioning, and that formerly there was a process where members of the committee would raise their hand and be responded to. And in that situation, if we did all take turns, the government would have half of the questions under that previous format that existed not long ago. I think the time, sorry, crosstalk.
No, MLA McQuarrie, if you want to finish.
Timing the questions, I think, was originally introduced to increase the efficiency of the committee, rather than putting hand up, that we could finish in an appropriate amount of time. We think in the interest of fairness, that reflecting the votes of the province is another fair way to look at it. And
Gonna call for order, please. MLA McQuarrie.
No, effectively, the 30 minutes that the government caucus is requesting is not out of line with previous protocols for questioning.
Thank you. Is there further discussion, or are we ready for the question? Seeing no, sorry? Okay. Seeing no further discussion, I'm going to ask MLA McGowan to please restate the motion.
Madam Chair, I move that the Standing Committee on Community Services adopt a question format of 30 minutes for the government caucus, 20 minutes for the official opposition, and 10 minutes for the third party. Additional time will then be split evenly, with half going to the government caucus and the other half shared by the two opposition caucuses.
You've heard the motion. Those in favor of the motion? MLA Mumbercat.
I'd like to make an amendment to that motion that says that the government party gets 20 minutes, the opposition party gets 20 minutes, and the third party gets 20 minutes.
We have a motion to amend on the floor. Should there be discussion of the opportunity? Is there discussion on that motion? MLA Mumbercat.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just want to reiterate the fact that the committee and all committees, which I suspect will be going through this with a number of other committees today and later on, that the process worked very well. The there was fairness across the board, regardless of who sat on the government side. You know, at one point we sat with over 34 seats as a majority government. We were fair to all parties, regardless of how many seats were held in committee. The debate was important. And I think that the government should follow that. I say this, that you can govern with ego or you can govern with empathy. Obviously, this is a move because they have a supermajority and they feel like they can do it, and for whatever reason want to eliminate the conversations that me and my colleague would have as two MLAs who are veterans to the House that bring a lot of knowledge and experience. So I think we should stay to the 20 minutes each, and I move that amendment.
Okay, let's vote on the amendment. Those in favor? There's been a request for a recorded vote, similar to last time. The clerk will call the names, and if you are voting in favor of the amendment to the motion, please say yay, and if you are not in favor of that amendment, please say signify by saying nay. Thank you.
MLA Brad McGowan.
Nay.
MLA Damien Stoylov.
Nay.
MLA Diane Timmons.
Nay.
MLA Kyle McCory.
Nay.
MLA Derek Marmarket.
Yes.
MLA Ian Rankin.
Yes.
MLA Lena Hammett.
Yes.
MLA Susie Hanson.
Yes.
MLA Susan Korkenbrink.
Nay. The amendment to the motion does not pass. We will now return to the motion on the floor. If there is no further discussion, MLA Hanson.
I'd like to amend the motion as well. Is this the time to do that?
It would be.
Okay. Could I put a motion on the floor, an amendment on this motion for all of the members that are in this room who has the highest percentage of votes in the province? It would go by that, based on that, and then that way we could have a fair way about timing across the table. So the highest percentage of votes in the province would be the one that gets to ask the most questions, and then from there we could work down the line.
Members, there is a motion on the floor to amend. Is there discussion of that motion? We will therefore vote on this amendment. All those in favor of the amendment as stated by MLA Hanson, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those against the motion, please say nay.
Not fair.
Nay. So we are returning to the motion that is on the floor by MLA McGowan, and I think it is more than time to have a vote on that. All those in favor of recorded vote has been called, and I will ask the clerk to proceed.
MLA Brad McGowan.
Yeah, yes.
MLA Damien Stoylov.
Yes.
MLA Diane Timmons.
Yes.
MLA Kyle McCory.
Yes.
MLA Derek Marmarket.
No.
MLA Ian Rankin.
No.
MLA Lena Hammett.
No.
MLA Susie Hanson.
No.
MLA Susan Korkenbrink.
Yes.
She was saying the motion.
So the motion has passed. When considering agenda setting, caucuses present a list of potential topics and corresponding witnesses for deliberation. As it stands, the governing party is allowed 3 topics, the official opposition is allowed 2 topics, and the third party 1 throughout the committee year. The preferred order of selected topics throughout the year is governing party, official opposition, and governing party, third party, governing party, and official opposition. The clerk has been given flexibility with the scheduling due to witness availability. Suggested topics are sent to the clerk for compilation and distribution 2 weeks before this meeting. It has also been the practice of the committee to have requests to appear considered by each caucus separately for inclusion in their suggested topic lists. Does the committee wish to make any changes? Okay, seeing none, we will continue in that way. The committee posts witness presentations and requested information subject to the committee's approval on the legislative website with the help of the Legislative Library. Does the committee wish to continue this practice? Seeing agreement, we will continue with that practice. Notices of meetings are often accompanied by the Legislative Library's research package and sent to members, witnesses, legislative staff, and caucuses a week in advance of the meeting via an appointment email. Supporting documents such as the agenda, membership list, seating plan, and committee correspondence are sent to members, witnesses, and caucuses a day before the meeting. Please note that any correspondence directed to the committee, such as witness submissions, requests to appear, letters, emails, are distributed to members as soon as they are received. Does the committee wish to make any changes to this practice? Seeing none, we will continue. We are now at the specifics of the agenda-setting items. And I will ask members to please bring their items forward. Sorry, who's MLA? Please help me, Damien, on your last name.
Stoylov.
Stoylov. Thank you.
Thank you.
MLA Stoylov.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move that the first topic for PC caucus be reducing financial barriers for children and families with witnesses, including representatives from OSD, Tracy Embret, ED, Child and Family Wellbeing, Fraser Egerton, ED, Strategic Initiatives, Nicole Hazelhurst, Project Director, and OSD Deputy Craig Beaton.
So we would open consideration of this topic to the committee. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, we will vote on the motion to proceed with this topic. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The topic is approved. Next, MLA Timmins.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move that the second topic for the PC caucus is expand cellular infrastructure with witnesses included, representatives from the Department of Public Works, representatives from Build Nova Scotia, and a rep from Rogers Communications. I'd like to also note that the clerk should attempt to make contact with Rogers again. We can revisit the witness list if this does not work.
Thank you, MLA Timmins. With this coming forward as a topic in a motion, is there any discussion? Seeing none, we will vote on this topic. Those in favor, please say aye. Contrary-minded? This motion is carried and this topic will proceed. MLA Macquarie.
Thank you. I move that the third topic for the PC caucus be supporting healthy families, with witnesses including Sarah McMaster, ED, Maggie's Place, OSD ADM, Shelley James, Deputy Craig Beaton, Suzanne Lay, ED, ESIA.
Thank you, MLA Macquarie. There is a motion on the floor. Is there discussion? MLA Hanson. MLA Hanson.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Bueller. No, sorry.
I was reading here, so the representative from Veteran Caregivers is not a part of that? Because we're talking about the third topic, right? So I'm reading here, for the Family Resource Centers, representative from Veteran Caregivers, because I know we're naming the names of the folks. Is that the same person? Who's the person representing Veteran Caregivers?
Emily McQuarrie, are you able to reply to that?
Well, I guess in general, it's for healthy families. So they would each speak about healthy families, not specifically veteran affairs, but in general.
Oh.
Thank you.
Well, I'm just
sorry, MLA Hanson.
Sorry, I'm just curious. So are they not a part of that conversation? Because I just wanted to know who the representative was for the veteran caregivers.
Perhaps I can ask for clarification from MLA McQuarrie. Are the representatives that have been named part of the Nova Scotia Association of Family Resource Programs and or Caregivers Nova Scotia? Are the representatives that have been requested as part of this topic members of the Nova Scotia Association of Family Resource Programs and Caregivers Nova Scotia, just for clarification? MLA McQuarrie.
We appreciate the request for additional voices. We feel confident that the group of representatives that we have proposed is the appropriate people to have at the table for this discussion. We also feel that we want to make sure that the people that we've requested have time to voice their knowledge and concerns during the meeting.
Thank you, MLA McQuarrie. Is there further discussion? MLA Hanson.
I'm just wondering if, like, the clerk could probably clarify that on who the person is that's going to be representing this group. I mean, I see the list of names. I just wanted to know so I could keep it for my own record. So if I have to ask questions when the time comes, then I can know who I'm going to ask the questions to.
So through the clerk, I'm wondering if the member could please name the organizations for which the stated individuals work. Do we have that information?
Major's Cove is what I was trying to think of.
Yeah, so they're listed.
Sorry, MLA McQuarrie.
Yes, so Sarah McMaster is with Maggie's Place. Shelley James is with OSD. Craig Beaton is with OSD, and Susan Lay is with ESIA. So they're the organizations that they would represent.
Thank you, MLA McQuarrie, for that clarification. Is there further discussion on the motion? Those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye. Contrary-minded? The motion is carried. We'll now move on to the NDP as official opposition. And I will ask for MLA Hamid? Hamid. MLA Hamid, please.
Thank you. The NDP caucus's first topic is moving towards an epidemic-level response to intimate partner violence, with the witnesses including representatives from the Nova Scotia Advisory Council on the Status of Women, representatives from the Transition House Association of Nova Scotia, representative from ATSOM for Women and Children, representative from YWCA Halifax, and representative from Elizabeth Fry Society of Mainland Nova Scotia.
Thank you, MLA. And we have a comment from MLA Rankin.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and I will be supporting the motion and the topic, but I'd like to add a friendly amendment, if I could, to add a witness that has lived experience and author of For the Love of My Sister, a recent book that was published, and the person's name is Lynn Gallant Blackburn. She's a family member of a victim of intimate partner violence, and I think it's important to have the voice of someone with that lived experience and someone who has been successful in making change happen in the province historically with the Department of Justice, and there's other suggestions that she has. So I'd ask the committee's approval for that addition of that witness to the group.
Thank you, MLA Rankin. We have an amendment on the floor. Discussion, MLA Timmins.
I'd like to make an amendment as well. I move that the topic, moving towards epic living response to intimate partner violence, amend the witness list to include a representative from Department of Justice.
So I want to back up just a step. No, not at all. I think what MLA Rankin may have put forward is what would be categorized as a friendly amendment. Whether we would have agreement to accept that amendment or so I am asking first in that spirit whether there would be agreement to a friendly amendment to add Lynn Gallant Blackburn. MLA Timmins.
I do understand the importance of having people come and present in front of this committee, but I'd like to just suggest that we have a soft limit of 5, just because what's going to happen is we are inviting people to come. They are traveling from other areas as well, and the committee, they may only get 1 or 2 questions asked within the 2 hours. So it seems like there's quite a list already that's presented. So I'm unsure how we want to deal with the numbers, and if we can have a discussion on that. There's no limit.
Whereas this topic has been brought forward as a motion by the NDP and MLA Rankin has brought forward a friendly amendment, I am advised that it is the purview of the NDP to accept that amendment. Is there further discussion on the amended NDP motion? Question on the motion. Those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Those contrary-minded, nay. The motion is passed. MLA Hanson.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The NDP caucus as well wants to bring forward our second topic, support and protection for tenants under the Residential Tenancies Program. And our witnesses would be the Deputy Minister of Service Nova Scotia, a representative from Dalhousie Legal Aid, a representative from Nova Scotia's Legal Aid, Social Justice Office, and a representative from Nova Scotia Acorn.
MLA Macquarie.
Yeah. MLA Timmins had been suggesting an amendment, and it was delayed. So I'm just wondering if that should be dealt with.
Oh, I am sorry. Just 1 second. So we're going to return to the previous motion with my apologies. And I would ask MLA Timmins to please restate the motion. Or the amendment, sorry.
I move that the topic, moving towards epic level response to intimate partner violence, amend the witness list to include a representative from the Department of Justice.
Okay. This time I am advised that we should do a vote, although I acknowledge that MLA Hansen is agreed to that. So all in favor of the amendment to the motion, please signify by saying aye. And we will now once again vote. That was just practice before. To the motion on sorry?
You haven't said whether that motion.
Oh, sorry, that motion on the amendment carried for the record. And now we will vote on the motion itself. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Contrary-minded, nay. And that motion is carried. Thank you, and I recognize MLA Hansen. Do you have further? Okay, thank you very much. Do we have a topic from the Liberal members? MLA Rankin.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and we'd like to propose a discussion on assessing the implementation of the guaranteed basic income, or basic livable income, also known as different terms, with the witnesses from the Department of now called Opportunities and Social Development, so the Deputy Minister, and representatives from the Basic Income Nova Scotia Society.
Thank you, MLA Rankin. Is there discussion on this motion and this topic?
Yes.
MLA McGowan.
So we're happy to support the premise of this topic. However, we do have a few amendments that we would like to propose. Given that we do not currently have a UBI program rolling out in Nova Scotia, we don't see how we could assess the implementation of something that does not exist in that form. We would therefore like to propose that the topic titled the topic be changed to Assessing the Impact of Social Support Programs in Nova Scotia. Witnesses will remain the same with the addition of Suzanne Lay, ED from Employment Support and Income Assistance. We can make that a formal motion if the committee prefers, or if we can get unanimous approval, we can just vote on the statement as read.
MLA Rankin.
Yeah, sorry, Madam Chair, and I haven't sat on this committee officially before, but I believe this committee has actually assessed the UBI concept before, and that there was representatives from this committee. Correct me if I am wrong, but if that's the case, there certainly is precedent. Whether or not there's an existing program, I think is irrelevant for the purposes of this committee. That's more along the lines of public accounts, where it's looking back at the expenditures, but this committee and all other standing committees, with the exception of public accounts, is very much a policy committee at looking at potential policy, current policy, and how we could be helpful to the government and bringing in stakeholders. And I think, in fairness, we're proposing a representative from government that can speak to all the social programs as well as an advocacy group. So I'd like to keep my motion the same.
MLA Macquarie.
The title is Assessing the Implementation. Sorry. The title is Assessing the Implementation of Guaranteed Basic Income. There is no implementation, so we can't assess it. I think that's the problem with the title, and maybe you could propose a different title that doesn't have a misstatement in it.
Thank you, MLA Rankin.
Well, we can take that out, certainly. I think part of the discussion is probably assessing how it was worked in different jurisdictions in Ontario and how they're looking at it in Prince Edward Island and things like that. But we can just say guaranteed basic income. Keep it simple as a topic.
Thank you, MLA Rankin. Now, I feel like there was the suggestion of an amendment on the floor, and again, proceeding first from the perspective of what we can agree to on a friendly amendment basis, MLA Rankin has offered a change relative to the title. Is that sufficient to address the concerns raised by MLA McGowan? MLA McGowan.
Again, I would suggest that the most appropriate title would be Assessing the Impact of Social Support Programs in Nova Scotia. So,
MLA Hamid.
What you're suggesting is a complete change of what was put forward. I think that it's not the same thing. So assessing the social services would be something for a completely different department, whereas this is assessing the implementation of a very specific program, which is the guaranteed basic income.
MLA Macquarie.
I wonder if the member could restate the topic as proposed.
MLA Rankin.
The topic would be guaranteed basic income.
Are there further questions? Thank you all. I will ask of MLA McGowan. The mover has agreed to present this as guaranteed basic income. There was reference before to a friendly amendment. Do you wish to make any kind of formal amendment, or does this satisfy?
Madam Chair, at this time that does.
Sorry, MLA McGowan.
Oh, Madam Chair, at this time that does satisfy, and so we can accept that as put forward.
Thank you very much. Is there further discussion on the motion? MLA Hanson.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just kind of want to remind folks around the table here that when we talked about fairness at the start of this conversation, members on this side, we have selective choices for the topics and the people that we bring forward to kind of give Nova Scotians an idea of what's happening here in Nova Scotia. And so when topics are put forward, they're put forward so that folks can ask questions, so we can have some robust conversations. And when the government side continues to change that and change the topic and change the people and change the presenters, it doesn't put forward the aspect of what my colleagues are trying to put forward here as their one topic for that particular thing. So in fairness, I mean, I think, we've already been limited by the amount of topics that we can choose. I think I support my colleagues here because I've been on this side of the table with one topic. And I think it's fair for us to listen to what they're trying to bring forward. And Nova Scotians want to hear from these folks as presenters. So, it's one thing to add in a presenter or, change a word or two. But I think, just out of respect and for my colleagues, I think it's fair that we try to at least have some friendly conversation over what this will look like for our topics and our presenters.
Thank you, MLA Hanson. MLA Macquarie.
I just want to say that I thought that the process that we just went through was friendly and productive, and we have a better motion and better title for the topic, and I appreciate everyone's work on that. Thank you.
Thank you, MLA. We'll now call the question. Those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? The motion is carried. Moving on, the Legislative Library has indicated members would like to appear before the committee to discuss its role in committee meeting preparation at a future meeting. A pamphlet containing an overview of its work has been distributed to members. Is there any discussion, interest in having representatives of Ledge Library come into the committee? Well, don't give me so much to go on, folks. Are we agreed that a short presentation from the Legislative Library would be helpful? Okay, I see agreement on that. Thank you. And our next meeting will be on, MLA Hanson.
Just before you adjourn.
Please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd like to put forward a motion to our Community Services Committee just to put forward some information gathering from the department, from the government. I just kind of want to put this out here as a motion. I move that this committee write a letter to the Premier and members of the Executive Council to urge this government to address this emergency of homelessness by taking immediate action to safely house all Nova Scotians facing homelessness by opening up as many shelter and supportive housing beds as there are people sleeping outdoors. This letter should additionally urge this government to stop the flow of individuals entering into homelessness by banning winter evictions to prevent this crisis from worsening. So I say this because that's the motion. But because the motion by name list for HRM shows that there are 1,157 people who are actively homeless in this city as of January 29, 2025. And we know this number is greater province-wide. So far this winter, at least 2 men have died while sleeping in tents when the temperatures drop below zero. So we all know too well that this is a tragedy and it will be repeated if we don't have action. And we need decisive action from this government. So temperatures have been frigid lately, and yet this government still has not offered a plan to address this and the need for permanent affordable housing province-wide. And this has reached the level of emergency and needs to be addressed as such. So I put forward this motion so that we can gather information and find out what is actually happening so that we can help address this to our constituents.
Is there discussion on the motion? MLA Macquarie.
Yes, I was wondering if the member could restate their position on advance notification of motions for the committee, please.
Would the member like to respond, MLA Hanson?
I'm sorry, you said advance notification of motions? Well, in previous committees, this is what we've been able to do as opposition. So for us to do that, to do so, I'm able to put forward a motion at any time during the session, during the committee meeting.
Is there further discussion on the motion? MLA Timmins.
I understand the urgency of what's happening, and I know government is putting their best foot forward and have been doing some great things. And I think there should be a motion to have someone to present on exactly what has been happening with government and bring a representation from affordable housing to come in and present in front of the board.
Thank you. So, somewhat interestingly, we have just had an agenda-setting meeting, and what we're basically talking about is a topic that was not identified as part of that agenda setting. What we do have before us is a motion by by MLA Hanson, and I think, is it appropriate that I read it or for her to reread it? Sorry, MLA Hanson.
Yeah, I just want to clarify, it is within one of the topics in the agenda setting. So support and protection for tenants under the residential tenancy program. As you can see at the bottom of the motion, it says ban winter evictions, which falls under residential tenancy. And as well, the presenters are already there to have these discussions.
Thank you, MLA Hanson. I think it is probably helpful for me to read as the member has provided in writing her motion. The specific motion is, I move that this committee write a letter to the Premier and members of the Executive Council to urge this government to address this emergency by taking immediate action to safely house all Nova Scotians facing homelessness by opening as many shelter and supportive housing beds as there are people sleeping outdoors. The letter should additionally urge this government to stop the flow of individuals entering into homelessness by banning winter evictions to prevent this crisis from worsening. Is there further discussion on this motion, or are we ready for the question? MLA Macquarie.
I'd like to make a motion that we postpone this motion until the next meeting, to have the opportunity to look into the facts and to go over all of the programs that the government has in place now and all of the hard work that's been done to help with this homeless crisis, so we can ascertain more so course of action.
Thank you. May I ask MLA Macquarie, so essentially this is a motion to defer, so if you can state as such. Sorry, I will recognize MLA Macquarie.
I'd like to make the motion to defer this motion until the next meeting.
Thank you. So a motion to defer is not debatable, and we will take it to the question. Those in favor of the motion to defer, the motion put forward to defer a decision on the motion made by MLA Hansen. Those in favor, please say aye. Aye. We have had a request for a recorded vote, and I will defer to the clerk to proceed with a recorded vote.
MLA Brad McGowan. Aye. MLA Damien Stoloff.
Aye.
MLA Diane Timmons. Aye. MLA Kyle McCory.
Aye.
MLA Derek Momberket.
No.
MLA Ian Rankin.
No.
MLA Lena Hammond.
No.
MLA Susie Hansen.
No.
MLA Susan Corcoran-Greek.
Aye. The motion is deferred. Is there further business to come forward at this meeting, MLA Hansen?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. I mean, I know this doesn't need clarification, but it's a letter speaking to exactly what MLA Macquarie was asking, to give us a detailed information on what it is that's happening and what are we moving towards. So I want to just say that deferring the motion, it is what it is, but I will just have to figure out what this is going to look like moving forward when it comes to the deferred motion. Thank you.
Thank you, MLA Macquarie.
Yeah, thank you. I'd just like to point out that we're deferring the choice of sending a letter and that we're not deferring any programs or help that's available currently.
Thank you. Is there further business for this meeting? Seeing none, our next meeting will be held on April 1st at 10 a.m. and the topic to be determined and sent out in advance of that meeting. Thank you all. Meeting is adjourned.